turned into be a beautiful evening and a very prestigious honor to be part of this Hall of Champions. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our president and principal, Dr. Jeffrey Buds.
Thank you, Coach Sharp, and once again, welcome to our 2018 Hall of Champions celebration. These nights are always a wonderful night, honoring those athletes that have done so much for our school. And not just for our school, but for our community, the example they set for our students here. We couldn't be more proud to have these type of celebrations because of the accomplishments of those that are inducted. If you turn your attention to our banner hanging up here ready for the class of 2018, you'll see that I'm probably taking some of Coach Sharp's stuff here, but you'll see them hanging amongst names that have done so much for our school, for St. Francis Academy, for Joliet Catholic High School, for Joliet Catholic Academy. We are so, so proud. And we are very, very happy that you can be here tonight and that our honorees are here tonight. And we are so grateful for all of your support for our school. Our students, our faculty and staff and our students are very grateful for the support you give for Joliet Catholic Academy, because without you, we couldn't be the school that we are today. So with that said, I'm going to turn it back to our MC for tonight, Coach Sharp, an inductee from last year. And I hope you have a great night. We're going to have great food. A couple of thank yous to our servers, Mrs. Tyrrell, and our bar back there, and our caterers for tonight, Ms. Voss, who planned this whole thing out tonight with Coach Sharp, and our Hall of Champions committee. We can't thank you enough for the work you did to make this night a success. So once again, I hope you have a great night. Welcome, and back to Coach Sharp.
Thank you, Dr. Buds. Yeah, when I was inducted, you could tell the selection committee is very easy to bribe. So it was great to get it. What I'd like to do now is introduce Father Jeff Smilik, who's the head of our campus ministry, and he will lead us in prayer with the invocation. Father?
Good evening, everyone. Just a couple of days ago, our Holy Father, Pope Francis, gave a wonderful address to a group of athletes. And as part of our prayer tonight, I'd like to share with you excerpts from Pope Francis's words. So we gather in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In the words of Pope Francis, your presence gives me the opportunity to underline the importance of sport in today's society. The Church considers sporting activity practiced with full respect to the rules as a valid educational tool, especially for the younger generations. Indeed, it is indispensable. The phenomenon of sport, in fact, stimulates a healthy overcoming of oneself and of selfishness, trains the spirit of sacrifice, and if well practiced, inspires loyalty in interpersonal relationships, friendship, and respect for the rules. It is important for those involved in sports at various levels to promote those human and Christian values that underlie a more just and supportive society. This is possible because the sporting event is expressed in a universal language that transcends borders, languages, races, religions, and ideologies. This is seen above all in amateur sport, which comes from the heart. Therefore, it possesses the intrinsic capacity to unite people, fostering dialogue and acceptance. I encourage you to spread the values of sport. In this way, you will contribute to building a more just society. And I would like you to focus on two words. One is passion. Spread passion. The world needs passion. Live with passion, and not like someone who bears life like a burden. Passion is moving forward. The second is champion. Yes, one can become a champion in sporting success, a champion of a team, and so on. But be a champion of life. Be someone who lives with passion. One who lives with fullness is able to be like this. Passion and champion. Two beautiful words. And so we pray, loving God, thank you for allowing us to be together this evening and to celebrate these amazing members of our JCA community who have taught us what it means to be a champion and to live with passion. Bless them, bless all of us, bless those who have made this evening possible, and may God bless JCA. Our Lady of Mount Carmel, St. Francis of Assisi, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father. I think at this time we're ready to eat. So, Michelle, is there a special way we want to do this? Okay. Michelle will come around and release the table. So enjoy the dinner, and we'll start the induction immediately following dinner. Enjoy. If everybody can be seated, and if you're still eating, finish eating as we get started here. I'd like to do a few thank yous before we get started. First of all, we want to thank our sponsors. Through your kindness and generosity, the sponsors have made this event possible with the fantastic generosity. It allowed us to have an evening like tonight, and it's a very special evening, and they make it possible. So I'd like to recognize those sponsors: the Order of the Carmelites, Brown & Brown Insurance, Manor and Wagner families, Darcy Buick GMC, Kavanaugh, Grumley, Gorbald, Mike Hansen, class of '69, Edward Jones Investment, Rathburn, Cervenak, and Kozel Law Firm, Adler Roofing and Sheet Metal, and Advantage Home Services. Again, thank you to all the sponsors for making this evening possible. We greatly appreciate it. I would like to also recognize our selection committee that meet every year and go through the nominations for the members to be selected into the Hall of Champions. And if you're present, if you'd please stand up and be recognized, I'd greatly appreciate it. Jim Borello, who's biology teacher, former coach and athletic director, and Hilltopper historian. Sue Bebar, who's the director of our alumni relations. Dick Goss, who's getting inducted into the Joliet Sports Hall of Fame tonight. He's also a member of our committee. Mike Hansen, class of '69. Tina Kinsella, our women's athletic coordinator. Kathy Major, head of guidance department, but was also the very first women's athletic coordinator here. Ryan Quigley, admissions, communications. Bill Scheibe from Chicago Tribune. And this year, Jeff Phelan, as the Alumni Association president, served on the selection committee. So Ski will be asking you to do it as you now, the president. Matt Shermansky will join us. So that's our selection committee. Also, very special thank you to the event committee, which is chaired by Chris Voss, who's done an unbelievable job every year, and this year even more so. We pray for Chris and her family. She lost her mother Thursday, and she still, through that grief, did a tremendous job of helping set this up and She's been pulled a million places. So Chris, thank you so much for your love and dedication. And her husband, Bob, who made sure that the place settings were perfect. Thanks, Bob. Karen and Tom Tyrrell with the bar. A very special thanks to Amy Holbrook, who helped here today. And a special thanks to Kelly Malone from Serve Pro, who provided with her bartender crew here. And they serve professionally too. They're pro servers back there. So thanks for taking care and getting the bar going. Also, a special thank you to Michelle Jankowski and Bella with the great food that we had tonight. To RME Audio Video, this is tremendous sound and visual system that we'll have here today. They do a tremendous job. Also to Billy and Dick Schuster, filming for Joliet Television, JCTV, so many of you could see this program on Channel 6. And also very special thanks to Jose Lopez for making sure everything here is taken care of. And of course to Ryan Quigley for all the communications that they've done. So a lot of work has gone into this evening and to make it special. And what really will make this evening special is these great inductees. I was also asked from my old boss, Father Bob Calarisi. I don't know if you see on your table, Father Bob is having a golf outing. It's for the Society of the Little Flower, which he does for the Carmelites. It's called Birdie for Bob, except Jack, you and I are triple bogey for Bob. But there's a card, save the date, take a look at it, and if you want to get involved in helping Father Bob with the Little Flower Association, please take one of those cards, and we'd love to see you out on the course. Tonight's inductees. We have a tremendous class here for the class of 2018. Outstanding class. And as you think about the great traditions that were St. Francis Academy, Joliet Catholic High School, De La Salle, and now Joliet Catholic Academy, you think of the standard that was set so long ago that many of us went through, whether it's the people that we played for, coached, the great talent. But I always think that there's a special thing about our school was the way we did it, the way the Angels and Hillman did it. There was a certain work ethic, a certain camaraderie, a love for one another. Our coaching staff, it was a service. You know, it wasn't a profession, it was a vocation. And the players who would give that all to represent their school and their teammates and do it for each other made it very special. So tonight we're honoring the best of the best. Some of the greatest performances I've ever seen by athletes are the people being inducted today. Some of the greatest lessons I've learned in coaching is for a man that's here today. It's what Joliet Catholic Academy is and how those schools merged into this. The development of women's athletics from the mid-'70s to where we are today. And the coaches and athletes that have come from the women's sport and how much women are involved to really give our girls opportunities that 40 years ago they never had. It's an amazing group. And we always tell our Hillmen and our Angels that they are held to a higher standard. That's the standard you have set. And they are striving to be like you and to maybe raise that bar a little higher. But it's the standard you have set. And so tonight, we honor our inductees with this very special ceremony. So first off, we're going to show the first video. Our first inductee is a young man who graduated in 2007. He's an outstanding football, basketball player here at Joliet Catholic and went on to a tremendous collegiate and pro career. So please enjoy the introduction video for Kobe Fleener.
Good evening, and welcome to Joliet Catholic Academy's 5th Annual Hall of Champions Induction and Celebration. I am Jeff Buds, President and Principal here at JCA, and I welcome you to this night of celebration. Tonight we are here to honor 6 athletes who have laid the groundwork for our current athletic program. These 6 individuals have done much more, though, than their sports. They have served their community, they have excelled in business, and they have set a great example for our current athletes and students, because these 6 athletes were also student athletes. We thank these 6 individuals for all they've done for our school. They have made a true difference at JCA and in our community. This night is about you, Jack, Andy, Chris, Kelly, Sam, and Kobe. Once again, thank you. Thank you for all you've done for JCA. I hope everyone has a great time tonight. I hope that we all celebrate the accomplishments of these 6 individuals. Let's have fun.
I'm Dan Sharp, Athletic Director and former head football coach at Joliet Catholic Academy. I was Kobe's head football coach here at JCA, and what an honor it was to coach you, Kobe Fleener. You were one of the best players that I've had. Your talent was second to none. Your ability to run, catch, your speed, your grace, your strength. It was tremendous, tremendous talent. But Kobe was much more than that. He was a great teammate. He was a hard worker. He would go to basketball practice every day. He was an outstanding basketball player as well. And after his practices, he would head over to Rudy's gym, where he would work for a couple more hours, developing his strength and quickness and preparing himself for his senior season. I remember talking to my son Danny when he played with you, and as we were talking about you, and he said, "You know, Dad, Kobe's just one of the greatest teammates a guy could have. He treats everybody the same. He's always kind and always looks after everyone." I think that's one of your greatest strengths, Kobe, and I see it today. As you had great success at Stanford and the great success you had in the NFL, you always had time for charities. When you first signed with the Indianapolis Colts, you would send Nike shoes to our football players and to the basketball players as a gift to help them in their athletic adventures and to give them a chance to really utilize an outstanding product, which maybe many of those guys couldn't afford to buy themselves. That was always kind. We always talk about we stand on the shoulders of those that came before us, but we had kids actually walk in your shoes. And it was great to have you be part of our program in that way.
Hi, I'm Joe Grubin. I'm here to speak on behalf of Kobe Fleener. We graduated from Joliet Catholic together in 2007. I'm honored to speak on his behalf. It was cool to see him develop that drive and that ambition and really become a goal-oriented kid who didn't care about what anyone else thought. He was going to do it his way. He was never peer pressured. He was never nervous about looking cool because he wasn't cool, or the fear of being embarrassed. I remember one story. We were in Spanish class. I think it was junior year, and Kobe said something stupid to me, so I nudged him in the back. And it was Spirit Day, so he was wearing a hoodie and jeans, and after I nudged him, I felt like a weight on his back. And as soon as I nudged him, like he knew that I knew, and he turned around and just started dying laughing. And it turned out that Kobe, on Spirit Days, I didn't notice at the time, would wear a weighted vest and ankle weights. And he was laughing, and I was making fun of him, and I remember he said, "I'll be laughing when I'm jumping out of the gym." And that was Kobe. You know, he didn't care. Like most people would have been embarrassed in that situation, Kobe didn't care. If he thought that it was going to make him bigger, faster, stronger, he was going to do it, because he had a goal in mind and he wanted to achieve it, and he was going to do anything that would help him achieve that goal. I think Kobe's an excellent leader / role model for the JCA community. I think he exemplifies all the core values that are taught here, the stuff that we learned. He's very kind, he's giving, both with time, resources, you name it. If you ever need anything, you can go to Kobe, and you know he's gonna, bend over backwards to help you out. When I heard Kobe was being inducted into the JCA Hall of Fame, I thought that, that they couldn't have picked a more deserving person, not only for everything that he's done athletically, all his accomplishments, but just the person that he is. He's a great role model. He's a leader. He's someone that I know I'm proud of, all our friends are proud of, the family's proud of, and that I think I speak for the entire JCA community and say that everyone's proud of him, and he's someone that we can, as a group, say, yeah, he went to JCA and feel a lot of pride about it. Kobe, I know most 99% of the time we're always joking, usually making fun of each other, but I just want to take this time to let you know how proud I am of you. Not only the athletic accomplishments, but like I said, how great of a friend that you've been to me throughout the years. I'm very thankful for that. I'm proud of the father that you are, the friend, the husband, the son, Shell. You did a great job raising him. He's an awesome dude. Like I said, I couldn't think of anyone that deserves this honor more of being inducted into the JCA Hall of Fame. I love you, bud.
Congratulations, Kobe, for being a member of the class of 2018 Hall of Champions. It's a true honor to be part of your life, and I'm excited to see you as you move on to the next chapter. Good luck, Kobe. I'd like to be honored to induct the first member into our 2018 JCA Hall of Champions, one of the greatest football players I ever coached, and definitely one of the greatest people I've ever known, Kobe Fleener.
That was awesome. Thank you. Congratulations. Appreciate it. So it's hard to follow Joe's pre-edited speech, but I will do my best. So first thing is, I think Coach Sharp and every other coach I've ever had can attest to the fact that I ask a lot of questions, probably a lot of dumb questions, and overthink things. And tonight I don't plan on changing anybody's mind. Initially, when I was putting this together earlier this morning, I wanted to start by thanking God, because what cliche athlete acceptance speech doesn't begin with, I first want to thank God. Sorry to ruin your speech, Sam. The more I thought about it, the more I felt like I was simply checking a box and going on with what I wanted to say. And so instead of coming up here and thanking all the wonderful people who deserve credit for me being up here, and believe me, they do, my family, my friends, the Brown Family Scholarship, my teachers, my coaches, I thought it would be more important to share a story that emphasizes how a kind deed from someone else, seemingly just in passing, made a huge difference in my life. In the NFL, each night before the game, all the players check into a hotel to avoid distractions, get a quality night of sleep, and the distractions being things like an open bar at a local Catholic high school. Most of these nights, my teammates and I find ourselves sitting in the hotel ballroom, making small talk, watching college football, and then heading up to bed. One night, the team chaplain, his name was Eric, came over and sat with us. And at that point in my life, I felt that, as long as I did more good stuff than bad stuff, as long as I forgave the people that I liked, as long as I went to church, and as long as I did this or that, I would be fine in the end. And largely subscribed to the notion that God may exist, but I couldn't believe it based on reasoning or logic. So the conversation quickly turned into me peppering Eric with questions. After he surprisingly answered all of them with grace, he recommended a book to me that he thought would address some of my misgivings about God and religion. And the book is called Surprised by Faith, and let me tell you, it lives up to its name. I was happy to find out that almost every expert acknowledges the historical existence of Jesus, and the facts for him being God are a heck of a lot stronger than the alternative. I realized that my previous understanding of God was based on me doing something to earn the grace that God bestows upon us, and it significantly discounts the sacrifice that Jesus made for us on the cross. I wanted to talk about Eric Smallgesser tonight for a couple different reasons. The first is he could have easily disregarded my questions and assumed I was attacking his beliefs, which more or less they were the same as mine. I just had a lot of questions. And instead, he took the time to sit and answer them. And if he didn't have the answer, he would find it for me. Second, I think it's something that we can all do. In my mind, the greatest things we can do for people are to share our faith and to listen. Something that I learned at JCA and continue to factor into my everyday decisions. I should tell you that I would much prefer to got up here, list a bunch of people that I was thankful for, and go sit back down, but I think that would have been a disservice to everyone here because it would have skipped over the fact that God worked through every single person who got me here, and for that, I'm truly thankful. Thank you.
Our second inductee of the evening was a tremendous three-sport athlete at Joliet Catholic, a 1953 graduate, and a tremendous person in the community with a wonderful family. I remember Gordy telling me stories of Andy Matichak and how he would just anywhere on the field could score. At one time he'd score a touchdown 60 yards, there's a penalty, then he went 65 yards, another penalty, and he went 70 yards. So it took him 3 touchdown runs to score 1. Amazing, amazing athlete. I also had a chance to, at college, trying to earn some tuition money, work on Andy's crew in ironworking. And learned out what a tough, strong man he is, but a great mentor, and was very kind to me, and I'll never forget those days. So without further ado, I'd like you to see the introduction video for Andy Matichak.
Hello everyone, my name is Ray Sinchak. Andy Matichak and I graduated from Joliet Catholic High School in 1953. I met Andy Matichak like 75 years ago. Went to grade school together. After graduation from St. Mary's Carmelite, we went up to Joliet Catholic High. Went to school there and just had some great years and memories. Football season started. We were practicing with the varsity team because the fresh soft team didn't start yet. They started like 2 weeks after the varsity. And Andy and I, we got to suit up with the varsity, and we even got in the game. I think it was for 1 or 2 plays, and maybe that was it. Everybody wanted to be like Andy. You know, I mean, when we were in grade school, when we were in high school, he worked like he played. You know, he was a good worker, always mind on his job, and that's what everybody liked about him. You know, if we played horseshoes, he was playing hard. He wasn't playing to lose. If we went on a fishing trip, you know, he was there to catch fish, you know. No lollygagging around, no monkeying around. And he was that way all the time. You know, if we were in wood shop, bro had us making baseball bats for the baseball team on a wood lathe. He was just whatever, you know, whatever we did to the best of our ability, you know. We had four really good sons, you know, and a nice daughter, you know, all good boys and all hard workers too. and good athletes, just like their dad. Yeah, and Andy, congratulations, you know, on your honor. It's an honor for me to come here and say a few words in memory of you. Really, you know, I'm proud of what he's getting inducted into.
I believe accepting the award for Andy is his beautiful, lovely wife, Rita. And I see the sons are here. Tom, you guys coming up? One of the greatest athletes ever to come out of Joliet Catholic, Andy Matichak.
Oh, thank you, James. Thank you so much. God bless you, sweetheart. Appreciate it so much. This is so nice. I'll let you hold that. Well, this is such a great honor, and I really know Andy is here with us in spirit because he always loved the Hill, and he did, just as everybody said, give his all. So I just have a couple of things. My precious sons and I got together, and two of them aren't here tonight because they're out of town. But at least we have Tim and Tom, so I'm so happy for that and their families. This is what I'd like to say. On behalf of our family, we thank President Jeff Butts for creating the Athletic Hall of Fame and Athletic Director Dan Sharp and his committee for choosing my late husband Andy for this honor. Andy was regarded as one of the top high school football players ever produced in the Joliet area. He was a 1953 graduate, and he starred in football, basketball, and baseball, and a football all-state selection in 1951 and 52. Gordy Gillespie said Andy was second to none on the field and court, and a man amongst boys with his size and speed. As a person, he was someone everybody loved being around. His athletic genes were passed down to his boys, whom all played college football on full scholarships. Tim and Ted at Eastern Illinois University, Tom at Syracuse University, and Terry at the University of Missouri. Andy himself earned a full ride scholarship to Notre Dame, but he suffered a career-ending injury on his knee in a basketball game his senior year, and that dashed his athletic dreams. You can only imagine the career that could have followed had he been healthy. Andy led by example, teaching his sons and daughter Sally to practice correctly, fine-tune their skills, develop a never-give-up attitude, and respect their teammates as well as competitors. After all, many of life's lessons are learned on the field and in team sports. Wherever life leads you, strive to be your best. Treat others with respect. Always be humble, and thank God often. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Next up, another excellent three-sport athlete who went on to have a tremendous professional baseball career and a tremendous career not only at Joliet Catholic but at Notre Dame, and went on to many great things, and now is taking all his expertise to coaching young men in the Marlins organization. So please enjoy the induction video for Chris Mahalik, class of '89.
Hello, I'm Jack Szymanski. I was the coach at Joliet Catholic in baseball back in the 80s, and have just completed 46 years in education, and I'm honored to be here to talk about Chris Mahalik. I think if anybody's a champion, it's a guy like Chris. I mean, the fact that he was a three-sport guy that just was such a great teammate. You know, he made his teammates better. He's a champion because of the success that he's had at every level that he's done. And you know, he stayed humble, realized what's important in life. Kept what a great sense of humor. That's such an important thing, I think, in life, is, you know, approaching things like that. What a representative. To me, I don't know how you can have a better representative of what Joliet Catholic's all about than this guy. Chris, we called him Chief. That was his nickname, Chief. And that because of his leadership. I felt it was, maybe the kids had a different reason that they called him that, but we called him Chief because he was great in those situations, whether it be on the field or in the classroom or in just dealing with things around school, and making sure that he always did the right thing. He was the leader of the tribe, and that's where what you would want to have in your high schools. Those kind of people that are showing leadership and commitment, especially to things like family and friends and faith. You know, it's such an important thing, especially at a school like Joliet Catholic Academy. You know, when Chris was a junior, that was my last year as head coach at Joliet Catholic, and I remember that, you know, having that relationship with him since he was younger. When I announced to the team, I can remember where we were at before a game. I announced to the team that I wasn't coming back. He was the only kid that went like this. Yes. No. No, actually what he did was he dropped his head, and I noticed that, and it was really hard for me to stay control because of the relationship that I felt like we had since he was such a young man.
My name is Ryan Quigley. I'm the Director of Admissions at Joliet Catholic Academy. I'm here today to talk about Chris Mahalik. First off, Chris, congratulations on your induction into the JCA Hall of Champions. Well deserved, and really excited for you tonight and your entire family. Obviously, you know how close the Quigleys and the Mahaliks are, and you know, just forever indebted to, you know, everything that you guys have done for me throughout my life and for the rest of my family as well. My relationship with Chris goes back a long time. I've known Chris since I was born. My dad was his freshman basketball coach. My dad actually introduced his sister to Chris's brother, my Uncle Brian Mahalik, so we're related to the Mahaliks that way. Growing up, I was born in 1985. I believe Chris was entering Joliet Catholic as a freshman in '86. Some of my earliest memories are in the old gym at Joliet Catholic when my dad would set up my Larry Bird hoop, and Chris Mahalik and Jonathan Voss would be stuffing me behind bleachers and telling me the boogeyman lived back there. We were there at his debut weekend. We didn't get to see him pitch in Cincinnati when he was with the Diamondbacks, but later when he kind of made the big league rotation with the Toronto Blue Jays, getting to go up there with my Uncle Brian, with Jared Voss, with Leo, driving up to Toronto and see Chris pitch, and you know, just really, really cool for a kid from Joliet to see that happen, because that's what you dreamt about, you know. And me and my role here as the Director of Admissions now, that's what I'm always telling kids. I had those guys to look up to when I was a kid, like Chris Mahalik and Jonathan Voss and Mark Sopko. I had a model before me to kind of follow, and I always kind of believe that success breeds success. And you know, I think that's the wonderful thing about the Joliet Catholic community, is that I know that there are kids out there right now that are in 5th, 6th, 7th grade that are looking at our kids that are juniors and seniors, and they look at them the same way I looked at Chris Mahalik. Well, obviously Chris's talents go way beyond the ball field. Just his compassion, his integrity, and I think that's a direct reflection of his parents. You know, I've been blessed in my life to know Janice and Leo. They're like another pair of grandparents to me, and I think, you know, learning those lessons at home from them has obviously made Chris the man that he is. What strikes me about the Hall of Champions, and I've said this every year for 4 years, and Chris is a perfect embodiment of this as well. To me, it's crazy not how talented these people were physically. Obviously, they had great athletic careers, and that's a big part of it. But I feel like every single person has been more successful after their playing career was over. Chris, just thank you for everything throughout the years. you know, looking out for me, giving me guidance, talking to me about the game, you know, getting me ready for professional baseball, opening up doors for me.
Chris, I am so proud of you, what you've done. The fact that you have respected everything along the way. I'm really proud of the fact that you've gone into coaching and are disseminating everything that you learned along the way from your parents, from your coaches, and from your teachers to that help other young men get a chance to maybe make it through to the level that you did. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud to tell you what, I'm proud I'm going into the Hall of Champions in your class.
One of the most outstanding baseball players in Joliet Catholic history, also a tremendous three-sport athlete, Chris Mahalik, new member of the 2018 Hall of Champions.
Wow, how am I going to do this? This is going to take longer than 4 minutes, by the way. That's all right. Sorry.
You know, I can't slow down the game of baseball. We're not listening to everybody.
Thank you so much. Wow. When Mrs. Voss sent me an email, it said that I needed to keep my speech to 3 or 4 minutes. I started thinking, I don't think I really need that long. It's only going to take one person to thank, and that's me, because I did everything. So thank you. I want to say thank you to the nomination committee. I'm honored that you thought that I was worthy enough to be with this class, because it's an extraordinary class, and I want to say thank you. It's going to take me a while, and bear with me. I need to thank my brothers and sisters. They're 10, 11, and 12 years older than me, and they never took it easy on me growing up. If I wanted to play with them, I had to hang with them. And because of them, they instilled that competitive fire in me. They were my foundation. And because of that, I thank you. I thank them. Lori, Greg, and Brian, thank you so much. Brian, I got to thank you for teaching at JC. You're the one that opened my eyes to what this community had to offer. You're also my ride my freshman year, every day. And that was really, really important, and I'm sure Mom and Dad thanked you a lot for that too. I want to thank you for introducing me to Joliet Catholic. My coaches and my teachers that got me through Joliet Catholic, thank you very much. I'm going to start with Ski. Ski, he gave me my first taste of varsity baseball as a freshman. He took me down to Springfield. I had no business being down there, but you took me down and you showed me what it was all about. I was lucky enough to be part of that last team that you coached here at Joliet Catholic. We went on a run for 33 straight games in a row. Talk about that team, talk with Bart Kemp, saw him tonight. We come back to Joliet, I come back and I still talk to my teammates about that. And I thank you for letting me be a part of that. Coach Hunkler, I'll never forget our early morning rides into school, 5 a.m. in the morning for our practices. You picked me up in the Mustang. Dude, I thought it was cool. It was awesome. You picked me up. My 79 Granada broke down. I didn't have a ride to school anymore. You picked me up every day. 5 a.m., practicing in the old gym. You were the first Uber, and I appreciate that. I also appreciate the fact that after those 5 a.m. mornings, you let me sleep in your second period of European history classes and didn't say a word to me. Coach Mack, from our summer basketball camps in 8th grade to her van rides to Knoll Park for practice, to Sunday night open gyms, to the cutting down of the nets in Romeoville, from the shot heard round Will County. Thank you. Thank you. Coach Lass, he's not here, but he taught me so many of my offensive skills in basketball. That's why I averaged 3.7 points throughout my career. And I want to thank him. I couldn't have done the mic and drill without him. My freshman basketball coach. That taught me to never block a shot, to stay on my feet, to take the charge or fake the charge. And that was the only reason I was ever on a basketball court. Because Pat Quigley, your dad, Sam, taught me how to take a charge. And I thank him for that. And that's the only reason I was able to ever to be on a basketball team, was because of your dad, Ryan. And I appreciate that. Bob Voss. I don't know if you remember this, but we had a conversation at Cog Hill. And you convinced me not to go out for the golf team and to play freshman football. You lied to me. You told me your son Jonathan wasn't going to be able to play quarterback and that I was going to take his job. So that convinced me to go out and play football. Instead, he was a starting quarterback until my senior year when he left. But because of you, I would have never played football, and I thank you for that. I thank you for that conversation. To my teammates throughout high school, the camaraderie and the bonds that we formed that day in and day out here at Joliet Catholic Academy, they never cease to exist. And seeing some of them here tonight is proof that those things that we learned on the field in the classroom were things that can never be taken away. Bob, your son Jonathan, I want to say thank you to him. He pushed me to be better. No matter where we were, every step of the way, Jonathan was there. Whatever we were doing, he wanted to win and I wanted to win. And he made me a better player. Even when it was hockey in your driveway in the winter, somebody wanted to win. And even when Jared broke the window at your house, and it was you, Jared, it wasn't me, even though you think it was, we continued. Well, it was not the bird that you told your mom it was either. It was you. We continued to play because the game was tied and we wanted somebody who wanted to win. So I thank you guys for that. I need to thank my mom. You were always there supporting me, Mom. You're always there in the stands. With 3 seasons, the season never ended, but you were always there. You never had a break. You were always in the stands and you never saw a game, just like you are now. You got your hands and you got your eyes covered by your hands because you're too nervous to watch. Thank God there's some tapes and you could actually watch, but I appreciate you always being there for me. Dad, I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for me. You taught me everything. You were my first coach, and you were my best coach. No offense, Ski. You encouraged, but you never forced. You taught me to be humble and how to be respectful. And that had nothing to do with sports. And I know that I'm not the only one that can say this. Just about every football player or baseball player that has put on a JCA uniform since 1989 has crossed paths with you. I can assure you they are better because of you. I know I am, and I thank you for that. Madison and Tyler, my daughter and my son. Thank you for your constant support. Thank you for understanding why I couldn't be there for your first days of school. Why I missed your birthdays or why I missed your games. Thank you for understanding and being supportive of me as I chase my dreams. Most of all, I want to thank you for the big hugs that when I came through the door, I always got from you. Even when I stunk on the mound, you're always there to give me a big hug and tell me how good I was. Thank you for being everything that a parent could ask for. To my wife, Shannon, thank you for your unwavering support. It's allowed me to chase my dreams longer than most men should have. The sacrifices that you have made over the years are way too numerous to keep track of. Missed birthdays, cross-country travel, never knowing where we're going to be, where our next job was going to be. You never doubted. Instead, you always believed in me. Because of you, I believed in myself, and I wanted to do better for our family. I can't thank you enough for all that you have done and for all that you continue to do. You are my inspiration. You made me better, and I thank you. All these things that I've said and all these people and all these actions that I've talked about reflect and represent family traits. And that's what JCA is all about. Family, and I'm proud to be part of the JCA family, and I'm very humble, and I thank you for your time. Thank you and good night.
Wow. 3 people inducted. We got 3 more to go. And before we start the last 3, I would like to recognize some of our members of the Hall of Champions. The class of 2016 is well represented today. Jane Condon is a member of the 2016 Hall of Champions. Pat Mudron. Pat is here. Pat. There in the back there. Mark Parker. I see Mark in the house. Mao. Mao from the class of 2016. And Pat Sullivan. Our great back there. Pat Sullivan is a member of the class. So, okay, next up. There's very few times where you could go walk into a gymnasium and you see greatness right there. You see greatness. When Kelly Murphy got on the court, you saw greatness. You saw something that was at a level you've never seen before. Tremendous high school volleyball player. She has gone on to a tremendous career at Florida, Team USA, and an Olympic bronze medalist. Kelly is our next inductee, so please enjoy the video for her induction.
Hi, my name is Anne-Marie Hickey. I am class of 2010. I first met Kelly when I was a freshman in high school, but I didn't start playing with her until I was a sophomore in high school. And I met her when I became really good friends with her younger sister, Jen, and so I've known her, I guess, since I was a freshman. Kelly was always somebody right from the start that wanted to feel that you were a part of the team, and she was always so selfless and wanted to make sure that the team was put before herself, or just exemplifying those types of characteristics, and so selfless, and just wanted to make sure that we were all going for the same goal, to really win that state title and really working together as a team. Kelly was always great in school as well, and being a student athlete in high school, obviously sports teams were a great way to make new friends, but I remember Kelly really excelled in the classroom, and I think that's just something that a lot of people aspire to be, is a great athlete but a great student as well. When I first started practicing with the team when I was a sophomore, I don't remember if it was in the summer or if it was actually when season had started, but that year Kelly had played outside and I was also playing outside, but we were on opposite sides of the net, and I really liked to do this one shot when I was younger of just sending it across the net from 4-zone to 4-zone, and obviously Kelly was better than me, so when it kept happening, she got really mad and hit an overpass straight towards me and actually gave me a bruise on my leg with how hard she hit it and how frustrated she was. But it was all in good play and fun, and she really made me feel like I was part of the team then.
Hi, my name is Nicole Frana, and I have had the pleasure of calling Kelly my friend for nearly 10 years now. But it truly does feel like yesterday that Murph and I were driving to our many volleyball practices together. We probably spent most of our friendship in the car and on the court, but those were where some of the best memories were made together. Kelly and I had played high school volleyball together, we were on the same travel team, and also crossed paths once in college. It was Illinois versus Florida in the Sweet 16 match at Texas. Florida came out on top, but it was so good to see Murph and her family. Kel, I was so happy to see you were chosen as an inductee into the JCA Hall of Champions. You were always a player who made everyone else around you better and were just naturally gifted. You are a role model for young athletes and someone that I still look up to this very day. Thank you so much for representing our country as an Olympian in the sport that we both love. I look forward to seeing your many more accomplishments.
I am Christine Scheibe, and I've been the head volleyball coach at Joliet Catholic Academy for 18 years. I'm heading into my 18th year here. Kelly Murphy was a special player from the moment she walked into our gym. A lot of athletes consider themselves either setters or hitters or defensive specialists. When she came in, the unique thing about her was that she could do it all. She was a setter, she was a hitter, she could serve aces, and even when she went on to college, she was known for getting triple doubles in college with her setting, her assists, her hits, and her digs. And I just think that she had such a unique ability to do anything, and that stood her apart from many other athletes that she was playing against at the time. I remember even other teams walking into their gym and they recognized her right away, even as a high school student. We were at one tournament and I was walking behind Kelly, and a girl was sitting in the bleachers, pointed at Kelly and said, "Do you know who she is?" And it just made me chuckle and laugh, because Kelly would be the last one to want any attention or to want anything focused on her, because she was just so humble, even with the abilities that she had. She has been such an inspiration to so many girls following her here at JCA, with her banner from Gatorade Player of the Year up on the wall. Girls look up at that and they see her name up there and they realize that they can accomplish their dreams, and she is somebody that they can look up to and admire and know that she has been there and has done that, and she has been a part of the Olympics, and just has set such a high standard, but has made it something that is accomplishable, and so they know that they can shoot for those dreams also. Kelly's just so deserving of this honor because she set a standard here at JCA. She is like no other athlete that we have had go through here, with what she accomplished not only in high school but also in college, and then on the national level with the Olympics, earning that bronze medal. And she has made a name for herself, and she has just made JCA proud with everything that she has done. Kelly, I would just like to say congratulations on all of your accomplishments. It was a true pleasure having the honor to coach you, and I am so proud of all of the accomplishments that you have had since high school. Your college career was outstanding, and you have done JCA proud with your appearance at the Olympics. Just keep up the good work.
Congratulations, and I am so happy that I had the privilege of playing next to you.
Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for being such a great role model to me and to all the volleyball players at JCA, and just a great person in general. And so I just want to say good luck in the future and keep chasing your dreams.
Our next inductee to the Hall of Champions, class of 2018, our Olympic bronze medalist, and in 2007, Joliet Catholic was home for the greatest volleyball player in the nation. Congratulations, Kelly Murphy.
That was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so I enjoy public speeches now about as much as I did 10 years ago, so keep this really short. Coach Saiby, Sam, this is probably going to be more than you've ever heard me speak, so prepare yourselves. First, I just want to thank everyone responsible for putting this night together. I'm extremely honored to be included in the JCA Hall of Champions alongside the other inductees tonight. I've always been incredibly proud of the amazing athletic traditions at JCA, and I'm just grateful that I could be here to help celebrate that tonight. I have been blessed with the opportunity to play volleyball all over the world, and I'm always honored to represent not only my country, but the JCA community as well. The values and lessons that I learned during my time here are things that I've taken with me throughout my entire career. And I could not have achieved the things that I have so far without the hard work, the integrity, and the faith that are embedded in the traditions here at JCA. I also have to thank my family. Playing volleyball has been an incredible journey, but it isn't always as glamorous as you would hope. It's required a lot of sacrifice, a lot of missed birthdays and holidays, and just life in general. So I want to thank you for sharing those sacrifices with me and for making the hard times easier and the great times possible. Thank you.
Our next inductee, outstanding three-sport athlete, went on to a great basketball career at DePaul, and now is an outstanding coach at Lewis University. When you come in, we saw the pictures in the back of the athletes. I love that picture of Sammy. And look at her face, that competitive determination. Sam, I'm sure a lot of your players see that look every now and then, too. Opponents fear that. But then you will come into this room tonight with a big smile, and you light up the room with your smile. An amazing young lady that's done tremendous things already in her career as a coach, and what a great career you've had as an athlete. So please enjoy the next induction video for our next inductee, Samantha Quigley-Smith.
My name's Dan McCarthy. I've been a teacher and coach for 40 years. I spent 14 years at Joliet Catholic, and I was fortunate enough to teach and coach Sam's late father, Pat. He was an inspirational man, and I got to know the Quigley family very personally at that time. I was around when Sam was born, followed her through her progress through grade school and high school, and then obviously on the collegiate level also at DePaul University. Sam then asked me to be her assistant coach for the past 6 years. 5 of those were at the University of St. Francis, 1 of those at Lewis, and I recently retired, and I'm just honored to be here today to speak on Sam's behalf. What I remember most about Sam is following her career at Joliet Catholic as my son Dan was going to school here. They were actually 2 years apart. Danny was in the same class with Allie, and Sam was 2 years younger. And I remember watching her progress as an athlete primarily in all 3 sports. She played volleyball, she played basketball, played softball, and not only did she play those sports, she excelled in those sports. But Sam was a great competitor on the floor. Again, she led vocally. I remember watching her at DePaul during timeouts. She would actually lead some of the huddles that were called by Coach Bruno. She was a competitor, loved to win, and did obviously whatever she could to lead on the floor. What really set her apart from other people was that she's such a caring person. As I indicated before, she loves to win, but she cares more about the student athlete and what they can bring to the table. She instituted a couple things at Lewis and St. Francis that really helped her recruit players, study zones, study tables, things like that. If a student is struggling, she'll always put academics above athletics, and that's a tribute to her and the way she was brought up by mom and dad. But yeah, Sam's truly an inspiration to any student athlete that may hear this, that if you ever doubt yourself or doubt that you can't do something, just talk to Sam Quigley and she'll tell you that obviously you can. Sam, I just want to take time to basically congratulate you on your induction to the Hall of Champions. It's a tremendous honor and one that is very truly deserved. I really enjoyed the opportunity that we shared these past 6 years. On a final note, I want to mention something about something that Sam Quigley is doing at Lewis University, and I know we have a tremendous crowd there tonight to honor the 6 inductees, and I just wanted to give her a little plug for this endeavor. Sam is planning to take the women's basketball team to France in May of 2019. It's quite an undertaking. It's going to be a 10-day trip where the students will earn some educational credit. They'll walk in the footsteps of St. John Baptiste de La Salle, the founder of Lewis. And again, they'll probably play 2 or 3 games while down there. The tough part is that Sam is trying to fundraise $85,000 for this trip. And if any of you feel so kind and generous that you would love to donate to that, feel free to contact Sam at Lewis University. I know she'll appreciate it. I appreciate it as a former coach, and I know that the women basketball players at Lewis will appreciate it also. Thank you for your support.
My name is Allie Quigley, and I'm Sam's older sister. I've known her since she's been born, December 20th, 1987. Been lucky to be her big sister, and went through so much together, sports-wise, and just as sisters. We've grown up to be best friends, and it's been a long journey, and I know there's so much more great times to come. Sam's meant so much to Joliet Catholic and all of the high school athletes in the area. She's always trying to give back, whether it's putting on camps or mentoring the young girls, trying to help them get to college on a scholarship. She's everywhere. I feel like she never stops as far as being in the community and giving back. I have so many stories that involve Sam as far as her leadership goes and just the kind of person she is. I can remember maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that, but we're putting on one of the Allie Quigley camps at Joliet Catholic, and she is probably 9 months pregnant with her first, and she's still running the entire camp and just as dedicated as if she wasn't pregnant at all. So it was just crazy just to see how she could pull that off, and that's just the epitome of Sam. No matter what, whether she's pregnant, whether she's feeling sick, whether she's not having a good day, she's always giving back to the kids, and she's always on 100 no matter what. Sam should be honored for so many reasons. Right now, everyone thinks of her as the coach. She's just on the way up, never stopping, always working, always trying to help the kids get better, giving back to the community. But I remember her as, my little sister in the backyard. We'd have 2-on-2 games versus my 2 brothers, and she was the reason we'd win all the games. So she was not just a coach. Everyone knows her as a coach now, but she was an amazing athlete, an amazing teammate, playing with her my entire life at Joliet Catholic in DePaul. She was the toughest they come, and that just translates to her as a coach and as a person. You always want her on your team, whether it's on the court or, as an assistant coach, as a head coach, sister, you always want her on your team. Sam, I love you. No one deserves this honor more than you. You've helped me so much throughout my entire life. You've always been my younger sister, but I've always looked up to you, both on the court when we were teammates and now just in life as sisters. I know I can always count on you. You're my best friend. I know you're always there for me to just give me the honest information, honest advice. You're always pushing me to be a better leader, a better person, trying to push me out of my comfort zone. I know I can always count on you for your honesty and just for anything really, just advice in life in general. You're always there for me, so I love you.
Sammy Bula, congratulations on your induction into the 2018 Hall of Champions at JCA. Really, really proud of you for everything that you've accomplished. You are the greatest competitor that I know. I don't think there's any person in the world that hates losing more than you, and I think that's why you're so successful. And just really, really happy for you tonight. Enjoy this, but more than anything, you know, I think Dad's looking down at you. Mom and Donnie, we're so proud of you and everything that you've done. And I still don't know how the heck you balance it all with the kids and college basketball, but you know, you do it, and you do it gracefully at all times.
I wish you the very best in your future endeavors. I know your goal is to bring back a national championship to this area, and I know that you have the capabilities of doing that. Again, from the bottom of my heart, Sam, congratulations. You're the best.
A young lady who has always driven herself to be the best, who did it with humility and grace, and now is teaching other young women how to be the best. The latest inductee to the 2018 Hall of Champions, Samantha Quigley Smith.
Okay, so I'm a coach, and so we're all going to stand up for a second. Okay, and we're about halfway through, so everyone needs to, you know, loosen up a little bit. Maybe get yourself awake so you remember what we said, the last two people, okay? So what we're going to do first, coaches steal things all the time. Like, it's so funny to me. You know, we have a million plays. I've stolen a million things from Coach Mack, from Sully, from Gillespie. So, you know, I stole this from the Duke assistant coach. I'm sure he stole it from someone else. I listened to him speak at the Northern Illinois Clinic about a week ago. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk around and try to go to another table. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to greet someone as if, you know, you're just walking down the street. You're just being nice and polite. So you're just going to greet someone and say hello, whatever you would say in that instance. So go ahead. Go on. Okay, awesome. Now you're going to go around, stay standing, okay? Now you're going to go around and you're going to greet someone as if they're the worst and nastiest person you've ever wanted to greet, but you're going to be polite because you're nice, and that's how you're going to greet them now, okay? All right, last one. Now you're going to greet everyone as if they're your best friend you haven't seen in 40 years. 40 years. Come on now, little energy in the room. Little energy in the room, yeah? Okay, you can all sit down now. So wow, this is quite the family affair. You know, I'm just looking around, and to hear Coach Mack on there, to hear Ryan, to hear Allie, just pretty amazing just looking around in the room and seeing so many family and good close friends, teammates, best friends that were in my wedding. Just really awesome that everybody came out for this night. We laugh all the time as a family talking about how the best athlete in the house is not you, Ryan. It's no other than the man in the red bow tie sitting right behind me, younger brother Jake. He's certainly the comedian of the family, and could probably do a backflip right now if I asked. You want to do a backflip for us all? No? Okay. Maybe later tonight. Okay. But how lucky I was to grow up around such fun-loving people. That's what sports always were for us, fun. And that's what made us love them. We thrived on playing together in the backyard, myself and my three siblings, Jake, Allie, and Ryan. When we got bored with something, we would just make up another game. I remember my aunt telling me that she came over and was looking out the window and she saw us shooting hoops on our bikes with rollerblades on. And she thought to herself, these kids are crazy, you know, and they're in our family, they're crazy. Don't ask. Playing three sports wasn't just what we did, but it was what we really enjoyed. Clearly, basketball was a favorite, but I can't overstate the value and the fun of being involved in so much. Being able to play play them all with my sister Allie too is really unforgettable. Hats off to the other three-sport athlete in the crowd too, Chris Mahalik. Growing up, I was blessed, so very blessed, to be coached by the very best, and not just the best coaches, but the best people. Whether it was St. Joe's Little League coaches like Jeff Huchek, my own parents over at St. Pat's, Will County champion days with my mom and Chris Adler, grabbing our jerseys, or maybe our hair, because we were their daughters, and I guess that was acceptable at the time. Daryl Miller and Mike Seaman during some unforgettable 7th and 8th grade undefeated basketball seasons, Mary Colbert and Marissa Delrose in volleyball at St. Pat's, the numerous coaches and teachers here at JCA, such as Matt Major, Chris Scheibe, Dave Douglas, Rick Rash, and Michelle Baggio, the one and only Doug Bruno at DePaul, my retired assistant coach, Dan McCarthy, or coaching alongside my Uncle Brian Mahalik at St. Francis, fresh out of college. There's a ton of teachers and coaches here in the crowd that I've always looked up to also. My late father, stepfather, Don Sturl, Count, Coach Leo, Sully, Jack Szymanski, another inductee, Jim Borello, Kathy Major, Dan Sharp, Mike Slovic, Tony Giese, Mary Lou Catalani, Tina Kinsella, Jared Voss, Bob Tomasino, Jake Jaworski, my brother Ryan. Everywhere we've gone, we've been led by amazing individuals. I wanted to be just like all of them, and I still do. Even you, Coach Mahalik and Coach McCarthy. You all are the real champions. I just shared a quote with our team last week that states, "The people we surround ourselves with either raise or lower our standards. They either help us become the best version of ourselves or encourage us to become lesser version of ourselves. We become like our friends. No woman becomes great on her own, and no man becomes great on his own. The people around them help to make them great. We all need people in our lives who raise our standards, remind us of our essential purpose, and challenge us to become the best version of ourselves." Being a great teammate is something I know I wasn't always perfect at. Being ultra competitive can sometimes bring out the worst in you. I had a lot of very patient and understanding teammates. They were also great athletes who helped make many of our teams successful, some of whom are here today and even so kindly were in our wedding a couple years ago, even though I probably screamed and yelled at them a handful of times in our angel uniforms. We weren't angels all the time, let me tell you. Yvonne, Christy, Kelly, another inductee here, thank you all for being here. We grew up playing sports together, so these three have been around since pretty much the beginning. Love you guys. Allie and Kelly were so unique. I was extremely competitive and assertive, and I can remember intensely yelling at Allie and Kelly on any given day. "Allie, take it to the rim," or "Kelly, put it away," and then they just went out there and did it. Players and people like that don't come along very often. I truly believe that we're all products of the people that we associate ourselves with. Not only that, but we are products of the way we treat others and the way we're treated. I try my best to live that mantra every day. I am certainly a product of how this wonderful place and people treated me. Many congrats to the other inductees. I am lucky to be standing here amongst you. Thanks to my ever so patient and loving husband and family. Our parents have been a key to our success. How else would we have been carted around to 12 different sporting events without them? How else would we would be able to both be basketball coaches without our family's support and our friends' support? Mom, Donnie, Sue, and Jeps, thanks for being here. Love you guys. I know we are forming an army, that's my husband and I, with Cooper, Jackson, Lolo, and Flynn. We're just one away from a starting five, you guys. It's not gonna happen though. 4, we can beat people with 4, okay? Anyways, we're forming an army, but that's really only to help boost my brother's admission stats. I think my Providence husband might have wrote that one in, but don't worry, he'll get used to wearing angel blue and hilltopper brown pretty soon, trust me. Thank you to the committee, Sue Bebar, Chris Voss, Dan Sharp, and JCA for this awesome night. And lastly, thank you so much to my amazing sister, Allie Quigley, inducted in the first class. If she hadn't been so good, then none of us would have been. Thank you.
Our final inductee of the evening, very special man, graduated from Brother Rice, and we do not hold that against him one bit. One of the best teachers I ever knew, great math teacher. You know about Jack and his baseball. Great math teacher. And the way he conducted his classes, the way he taught his baseball players how to play the game. And even the Illinois High School Association did some math on you. Jack used to play 60 games a year. Now we can only play 35. It is called the Szymanski rule. But that was Jack. Tireless, hardworking, and a great mentor to me and a great coach and teacher to so many young men at Joliet Catholic. So please enjoy the induction video for Jack Szymanski, the next inductee into our class of 2018.
My name's Carl Hunkler, and I am a former teacher and coach of Joliet Catholic. If you talk to Jack, he typically will introduce me as Carl was my first leadoff hitter. One of the words that I would like to share with you that I believe encompasses Jack's success is the word visionary. When I think about Jack, I always think about our connection together. And what I always visualize from Jack is this big smile. In fact, if each one of you took time to look at Jack right now, you would recognize that he has this big smile on his face. My wife, when she thought about Jack, she said he was always so welcoming for the wives, for the children. He always went out of his way to make everybody feel comfortable. One of the reasons as to why I think Jack is a great choice for the Hall of Fame is that his entire career, all 46 years, have been about the kids. You can go back and look through the record books, 53 wins in one season. Ask Jack, he would say, so what? Several conference titles, so what? Regional sectional titles, so what? Summer baseball championship, so what? It's always been about his relationship with young people. In 1999, when Jack was going to resume his career as a baseball coach, he called me and said, Carl, do you still have those practice plans that I loaned you? So I looked through my many files and I just couldn't come up with them. But lo and behold, fast forward another almost 20 years as I am cleaning out all the file cabinets that I have, your practice plans from March 1st, 1986 until March 28th, 1986. What you choose to do with them is entirely up to you. For all you young people out there, this is what we used to call a hard copy. This is actually a file folder. We didn't have the advantages of PCs and zip drives and iCloud. Just a lesson, history lesson that is. In the spring of 1973, Jack, I wore a Hilltopper jersey as the leadoff man on your first baseball team. Later on, I wore the Hilltopper jersey as one of your assistant coaches. And in 1988, as you moved on, I wore the jersey again. Tonight, in recognition of your induction into the Hall of Fame, I wear this jersey.
My name is Matt Szymanski. I am a class of 1998 graduate and also the son of Jack, who's being honored tonight. And this is my first year being the president of the Alumni Association Board of Directors. And I'm extremely honored to be able to speak tonight for my dad. And I think that I'm a little bit biased, but there's nobody more deserving of this honor. I think that it's fitting that my dad is part of this and that I'm also able to enjoy it. The first place that I had come from after leaving the hospital when I was born was to Ingalls Park to watch a baseball game, summer baseball game between Joliet Catholic and Providence. So I think that was a sign that my dad and I would be involved with Joliet Catholic and JCA and St. Francis for years to come. And when I think back at my childhood, there's tons of memories, but I realized that as I was thinking back the last few days, a lot of these memories go back to Joliet Catholic Academy, going back to the old school when my dad was working there, playing with, he had a magnet, a baseball field that I could play with the little guys and move guys around. I remember specifically a Joliet Catholic wastebasket that he had with little basketball, and he used to shoot paper balls in there. And then moving forward, going to more baseball games at Ingalls Park and riding the tractor with my dad. That's something that is always a memory that sticks out. And then moving forward a few years, it's I think it was one of the first times I was both nervous and scared, but it was the 1988 super sectional basketball game against Lockport with Jonathan Boss. The shot of Mike Koski getting a goaltending call, which led Catholic High to the super sectional victory. So there's a lot of memories throughout the years, and again, tying back to childhood, that go directly to Joliet Catholic Academy. And I think without having somebody as involved as my dad, it would be hard to understand and appreciate the impact he's had on both his former players and his students in the classroom. He taught both his students and his players that if you do simple better, if you're doing the fundamental tasks, both on the field and in the classroom, and even taking it to your professional lives, if you're doing those fundamental tasks, you will be successful in whatever route in life you go. So I think that is one wide version, one summary of why he's deserving of this award and this honor. And just looking back at my whole family, I have my grandpa, who's part of the inaugural class of the Hall of Champions, and then several of the people that are also inductees over the past previous 5 years were either colleagues of my dad's or were students and players of my dad's. So I think that says quite a bit of the reach and the impact he's had on people across the board here at Joliet Catholic. That I'm extremely honored and proud to be able to be here speaking on your behalf and being part of this award. So I couldn't think of anybody more deserving of it than you. And I think of the things that you taught me over the years, and if I were to summarize it, I think that the expectations you put on me is to be the best man that I'm supposed to be. And I think that you've had that lesson taught to everybody that you encounter to try to make the world a better place. So thank you, Dad. I love you, and I'm extremely proud of you.
To my big brother, my coach, my mentor, and most importantly, my friend. In 1989, you left Joliet Catholic, and you left some very big shoes. I'm glad I had that opportunity to walk in them for a very short time. You left me with great directions on how to become successful, and what an honor it has been to be in your footsteps. Love you, brother.
One of our greatest coaches, dearest friend, outstanding teacher. I guess the best way I could describe it, if you spend a couple minutes with Jack, you're going to learn something, you're going to laugh, you're going to feel a whole lot better after you meet him. He's the best. Jack Szymanski, class of 2018 Hall of Champions. Coach.
Hi there. When Sharpie called me a few months ago to inform me of this honor, I was driving home from school on I-80, and I couldn't believe it. I almost drove off the road. I believe my exact response was, "You got to be cartooning me." And so we talked for a little while, and then we hung up, and we drove along for a while, and then I said, you know, I didn't hear him right. So I pulled off to the side of the road, and I called him back, and I said, Dan, are you sure? Are you starting a Hall of Shame? Or maybe a Hall of Lame? And that would be appropriate. He said, no, You heard me right, Hall of Champions. Then I asked him, who are the other recipients? He said, well, there's an Olympic medalist, there's a pro football player, there's a highly decorated at a very young age basketball coach, a pro baseball player, and oh yeah, a guy that Gordy Gillespie said was the greatest athlete of his time. I said, oh, I really fit in that group, Dan. You gotta be kidding me. He said, guess what? You're like Lou Gehrig. You're the luckiest man on the face of this earth. And he's right. My luck started back when I met a guy named Gordy Gillespie at Lewis College. And after 4 years of baseball and a math degree, I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. And he asked me if I would consider coaching and teaching at Joliet Catholic. And by the way, let's get this out of the way right now. Without the commitment of Gordy Gillespie, we wouldn't be having a Hall of Champions. Am I right? Little did I realize Joliet Catholic would possibly be the most welcoming school on the planet. A Catholic high school similar to the grade school and high school that my incredible parents sent 9 kids over a myriad of years. A place with a commitment to the Catholic faith, family values, college and work preparation, community service, and excellence in athletics. How lucky was I to come in to teach and coach the caliber of student athlete we had. To this day, I experience and foster relationships with the many young men that I had in the classroom and on the basketball and baseball venues. The commitment I received from them and their families will carry me always. In baseball alone, think about the talent that we had coming out of the youth baseball programs back in those days. It's amazing. The commitment that they and their families made to play sports at the old Catholic High, where there were no athletic fields or facilities outdoor, and a gym about the size of some of your living rooms. And you know what? We overcame that. We made it happen, and we learned to appreciate what we did have. I'm happy to say, from my perspective, that it is obvious that today's JCA athletes and families have the same qualities that the Carmelites and Franciscans established and continue to promote, along with so many dedicated teachers, administrators, and support personnel. These qualities were just witnessed during the stories you heard about my fellow recipients. At this time, I'd like to offer my congratulations to them, to Kobe, for taking your great academic and athletic background and work ethic to Stanford, and then to the NFL, and representing your family, school, and city admirably at the highest level. To Andy and his family, for being a forerunner of all the great student athletes that have walked the halls of our schools. To Chris, the chief, for being the Andy Matichak of your day, for taking the support of your parents, brothers, sister, and extended family to Notre Dame, and a 16-plus year professional career in the greatest of all organizations, Major League Baseball. To Kelly, for parlaying your efforts at JCA and your club teams programs into unprecedented Division I, international, Olympic, and professional volleyball careers. And to Sam, for taking your Chicagoland High School Female of the Year accolade on to Division I All-American status, and now to be one of the outstanding college coaches, all representing your sharpshooting fathers, your ridiculously talented mother, your talented in their own right brothers and sister, and your prominent and even ever-expanding family with great pride and purpose. Okay, I'm now going to read some names, just like Sam did. You will recognize most of them. Roger Gifford, Larry McCune, Dan McCarthy, Mike Slovic, Carl Hunkler, Brian Mahalik, Mike Gillespie, Dan Sharp, Dave Douglas, Pat Quigley, Bill Scholl, Bob Ballantyne. Hope I didn't forget anybody. These are the baseball coaches that I was lucky enough to be with in my 16 years at JC. All our players now, and there's a lot of them here tonight, realize how lucky they were to have them as their mentors. Thank you for your commitment to me, and I apologize now, I never did back then. I apologize now to your family, your wives and family for taking you away from them so often. You know, playing 30-plus games at every level and practicing the daily practice and the care of 3 fields. Remember, we didn't have any fields. 3 fields, each 20 minutes away from where the school was in different directions, taking care of those fields. Indoor practice in that Cracker Box gym or at the Armory at all hours of the day. Thank you for what you did for me and for your friendship. And how about Carl Hunkler, Joe Rodiguero, Lee Capista, and Jared Voss, head coaches that followed me, earning state qualifying and championship status, as well as national recognition. Kudos to them and their athletes. And congratulations to Jared Voss on his 500th victory this year. I told him we're going to be back for his 1,000th in 15 years. Okay, more names. Gordy Gillespie, Tom Kennedy, Tom Deeden, John Ostrowski, Ken Parker, Tony Jantz, George Sedlacek, Pat Sullivan, Tony Delgado, Paul Ruddy, Dan Sharp, Dale O'Connell, Frank Palmasani, Mike Dooley, Jaime Garcia, Jim Borello, Randy Stelter, John Morey, Butch Markells. I know I'm going to forget some, but my special college and high school coaches, mentors, and friends. What I learned from them is so much more than about how to win a game, teach a technique, or develop a strategy. It was about how to treat people, get them to work toward a common goal. Be committed to family and friends, and to have a lot of fun along the way. Please bear with me as I recognize now some people that are most important to me. My wife, Tony, my beautiful wife, Tony, of going on 23 years. She's a retired school teacher who has shared with me the joy of watching our kids and grandkids grow and prosper. Sorry, I cried at Old Yeller. Also, at the end of A League of Their Own, okay, I watched that movie and I fast forwarded to the end so I can listen to that song at the end so I can start crying. So I hope I can get through this. Where the heck was I here? Okay. Right now, and I'm in retirement right now, and Tony is desperately trying to curb my 5:30 a.m. weeding outside, my rants about the Cubs and White Sox, and my incessant comments about my former ball players on posts on Facebook. Love you, and I'll get better at that, I promise you. Our son Jared and daughter Abby and their spouses Julie and Brent, who are raising 2 children each, Paige and Pierce, and Cora and Sage, in Nashville, Tennessee, and in Manhattan Beach, California. They are a reflection of Tony and the love and great parenting skills that she has. We are cherishing our time with them. Tony's parents are here, Corliss and Irene Norton, who are both proud veterans, pillars of their Clifton, Illinois community, and the parents of 3 boys and 3 girls, grandparents of 6, and great-grandparents of 7. Irene is retired from General Mills, working while raising 6 kids. I have no idea how she did it. She's never driven a car. Corliss is a retired school superintendent, having served as a teacher, assistant principal, and principal, as well as baseball and basketball coach. He was inducted into the IHSA Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame a couple years ago. They are both 96, and this summer celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary. Let's go. If you don't do anything else tonight, please get over and get to know them. They are an inspiration, aren't they? They're not perfect, though. They're both Cub fans, and both of them cheat at pinochle. Next, my favorite Hilltopper baseball player, that guy without any hair, 98, JCA grad, my son Matt and his wife Tristan, who are proud parents of 3, Rachel, Ashley, and Logan. I am so thrilled with their commitment to their children, to their people-serving professions, and their community involvement. Unfortunately, they are Cub fans as well. I don't know how that happened, Matt. My favorite angel, a 2001 JCA grad, my daughter Marty, and her husband Danny Paul, who blew off tonight's induction simply because of the birth of Parker John Paul this past Thursday. Parker will be joining his 4-year-old brother Harrison as U.S. President and Vice President candidates in the 2050s and 60s. Marty and Danny have 2 other children, Ray and Aiden, who work in the insurance field. Thankfully, they are Sox fans. At least Danny is. I don't know about Marty. In closing, I know it's cliche, but it's so true. I want to thank and wish I could personally call out the name of every basketball and baseball player that I put on the uniform with for allowing me to be a part of their experience at Joliet Catholic. I thank you for they made it possible for me to be a part of the Hall of Champions. God bless. Thank you.
Wow, what an evening. As we conclude, all the inductees, they're going to want to be taking some pictures over here with family and everything. The bar will be open when we finish up here, so please stay and enjoy the evening, enjoy the friendship. Again, congratulations to all the inductees. Thank you for living up to the tradition. Thank you for building the tradition and raising the bar. Thank you for all the people in this room today that had such a positive impact on our 6 inductees. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support of Joliet Catholic. God bless all of you and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.